Good morning. It is Monday morning, time for some mental toughness and some essential emotions. And today we are starting with bergamot, which is the oil of self-acceptance. I love this oil. I think it smells so good, but I really love it even more when I read about it. Does anybody want to read today besides me? I'm totally happy to, but if you want to
I
hear
can
a
read. I
different
can read.
voice.
Do you want?
Okay.
All right. Bergamo. I call it bergamo, but you can say it either way, I'm sure. Bergamot,
That's true.
bergamot.
We've heard it both. We've heard it both ways.
Self-acceptance. Bergamo relieves feelings of despair, self-judgment, and low self-esteem. It supports individuals in need of self-acceptance and self-love. Bergamo invites individuals to see life with more optimism. Bergamo has a cleansing effect on stagnant feelings and limiting belief systems. Because of core beliefs of being bad, unlovable, and not good enough, they seek to hide behind a facade of cheerfulness. They may fear revealing their true thoughts and feelings. Bergamo's powerful cleansing properties generate movement in the energy system, which in turn brings hope. In this way, bergamot is wonderful for those who feel down and hopeless. It awakens the soul to hope and offers courage to share the inner self, reigniting optimism and confidence in the self. It imparts true self acceptance. Bergamot teaches individuals to let go of self judgment by learning to love themselves unconditionally. All right,
Love
suggested
it.
uses: inhale from the bottle or diffuse. Mm. Uh, Interesting. This is saying dilute 1 to 3 drops with carrier oil and apply over heart, solar plexus, and the upper stomach, which is the upper stomach, or on the forehead. Internal, take 1 to 2 drops under the tongue in a capsule or in water. Companion oils are cassia, metapower, kumquat, grapefruit, copaiba, beautiful, pink pepper, and bergamot mint. So the negative emotions are despairing, low uh, self-esteem, self-judgment, self-critical, unlovable, unloved, and hopeless. Positive properties are self-acceptance, optimistic, confident, hopeful, lovable, loved, good enough, and self-worth.
I love this. I love this so much.
So I got to try some on my solar plexus.
Right?
I have this one in a bubble diffuser in the hallway of our house. I have bergamot in there, and be after I read all the properties, I was like, "Oh, we need this all the time."
All the time.
Constantly.
So this is your staying power all the time. Stay with it.
No, I love this also. They may fear, let's see, they seek to hide behind the facade of cheerfulness. They may fear revealing their true thoughts and feelings. And this is like, um, who is it? Uh, Brene Brown, right? And she talks about the um, vulnerability being the birthplace of love and connection, and how you have to have vulnerability. We all seek and want love and connection, but we also
We're
fear it.
afraid.
Because you have to be vulnerable in order to receive that, and that can be really scary. And many people are not willing. I know I feel unwilling in many instances, and sometimes that's wise, but at other times it just keeps us blocked off from having the types of relationships that we're really looking for and that we really want to have in our lives. And so do have to use discernment. We shouldn't be vulnerable and open to everybody, but probably more than we are, right? If we want happiness, which which is really, really powerful. Okay, any other thoughts on self-acceptance, bergamot or bergamot?
I find it interesting. You're sitting out in the sunshine. We're expecting rain, snow, but you're talking about relationships and there's hearts on your door.
Yes.
Yes, that's so cute.
It's the
That's
last
great
day of
background.
hearts. Well, actually, my niece helps me with my decor, and this Friday we'll take it all down and put up Easter. So we are expecting rain and snow. But it's not freezing yet, and it didn't freeze last night. And I thought I'm gonna go enjoy the spring for one more minute because yesterday was gorgeous, right? It was just this beautiful,
Yeah, lovely
sunshiny
day.
promise that was like it's coming soon, right? Some people
And
say it's a lie, but I say it's a promise.
Camille says to get your eyes in the sunlight every day this week because it'll help you adjust on the change of time on Saturday night at 2 o'clock in the
Yes,
morning.
we have
Mm.
that spring forward, which is not usually my favorite, but I have been getting up and getting the sun in my eyes. Of course, I can't see the sun yet because it's too
Yeah, but you
cloudy,
can't look
but
at the sun. You shouldn't look
I can
at
get
the
in it.
sun.
No, but I know, but the light, the sun is or the sky is light, but the sun is not up yet. So okay, 66 or 65? I don't know.
65.
65. Oh, this is like so true, right? Champions are products of their habits. Are we sure we didn't do this one already? It just feels like something we talk about all the time.
Well,
It's
I just adjusted the number when I sent the text, so
Yep, it
must
must be right. Yeah, and the way my paperclip is, it looks like it's the right thing, but it seems totally perfect. Okay, champions are products of their habits. Average performers think of habits as something to break, like smoking or eating too much. Professional performers know successful habits are the keys to the kingdom. Each and every day, the great ones reinforce their success habits such as
oh, you're
exercise,
breaking it.
proper diet, showing up early, staying late, and studying their field. Champions have a sacred respect for the power that habits exhibit in their life. The pros know if they allow their championship habits to slip for even one day, the habit will begin to atrophy. The great ones know it is more difficult to develop a championship habit than it is to lose it. Oh, isn't that the truth? They understand the magnificent force of momentum and how it can work for them or against them. As a result, they tend to protect their success habits with an almost religious fervor. Champions are keenly aware of how their habits impact every area of their lives because they always look inside themselves and listen for answers. Average people are oblivious to success habit formation unless the pain from an unhealthy habit becomes too great. Habits are the raw materials from which the great ones are made. Wow. Right?
That's great.
Wow. Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey is our world-class resource. And John Dryden, he said, we first make our habits and then our habits make us. Oh, that is true, right? Purple. Bergamot. Today is our oil. All right, thoughts about habits. Good or bad thoughts? Just
Yeah,
real, raw, and vulnerable. We all have
yeah,
bergamot going, so
you can get going on it and then you can fall off a cliff. So you gotta re-energize your habits.
I know. And I really think also, I love that it says here, it's more difficult to develop it than it is to lose it. So it does make me really think about, some of the habits that I had going a lot better a few months ago that are not that good. And maybe we think twice before being like, I think I won't do that today, or I think I will do that today.
And the one thing that Kathy says is, have you brought in the idea of sharpening your saw? You have to take time to sharpen your saw, which is refining your habits and improving yourself and self-development. So I think that's really important.
Here comes the button.
I guess I better get my saw.
Yes. Get your
Yeah,
saw.
pull it out. Take the rust off of it.
Get the rest off of it.
Wow.
Good.
You're in two places at one time. You're amazing, Tim.
Yeah, it's called cloning.
Are you on
Hey,
somewhere?
I'm on my phone upstairs, but then I saw you down here, so I'm going to go there. It's that morning light.
I don't even see you. You're missing. That's funny.
so something
Awesome.
that jumped out at me, and this is my own faulty. Average people are oblivious to success habit formation unless the pain from an unhealthy habit becomes too great. That just kind of explains my frustration when I can see what people need and they don't want it. But then what is it that I need to change in myself? What's the habit I need to develop in myself?
Check that.
Wow. It's like,
When you read that there, Chris, it reminds me of exercise, right? It's hard
right.
to exercise on your own, right? But people start doing exercises when they get
I'm
diabetes or heart attacks. Then they
What are you
really
looking for these?
Oh, we got some back.
Oh,
So
real.
say that last part again, Tim.
I
The
said
exercise with other people.
Yeah, I mean, well, exercise with anybody, right? I mean, it's hard to do just to do, right? Especially to get started. But when someone has a heart attack or they get diagnosed with diabetes, they don't want to have to take metformin. So they definitely get more serious about their diet and their exercise, right?
Yeah.
Or if they would have done it, on their own, they would have never gotten that position. So
Mhm.
not until it hurts hard enough, but like he says there.
Yeah. Yep, but we can be compelled to be humble or we can choose to be humble, right?
Or you can choose your heart.
You can
Right?
choose your heart, right? Camille and I were talking about that yesterday that when you're raising kids, there's times when you have to let them face the consequences and experience the the joy of learning. And it's really hard as a parent to let that happen, but it is so much easier. The pain of learning those consequential lessons as a young person is so much less than continuing to allow these bad habits to develop into character traits. And then they have to learn, oh, the world is a harsh teacher.
It's not like your kids, but it's your friends and you can do this or
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's everybody for sure. But we were talking about it specifically from a parenting standpoint that we were just like, ugh, as hard as it is, it's one of the hardest jobs I think of parenting is to let kids experience
Make mistakes. Yeah.
the consequences of their decisions
Hmm.
and be okay with it. Like, no problem. Because it's not going to be a problem for me. It's going to be a big problem for you. But
Well, and and they do not want our advice unless they ask for it. So we can't really impose on them too much either.
You gently counsel them and then let them make their own choices, right?
yep. And keep the relationship open
Yeah.
so they feel like they don't have to totally eat crow when they come back.
Reminds me of what Camille says, eyes on your own plate.
Yes. Yep.
I love that. I love this too because just this morning I've been getting myself to a space of what habits am I creating in the morning for me to set myself up for the day. And I've been wanting to work into that for a while, but this morning I was like, I'm gonna do that today. So before the call even. So that's
Yay!
exciting.
Good job. Good
I'm
job.
the same thing. Thanks.
RTM sees the day, right?
Carpe diem. That's right.
Absolutely. Carpe diem.
Spell that, Tim.
So seize the day, Mary.
Is
Got it.
Is
I'm all
that
over that.
CARPA? DIEM?
CARPE DIEM. Carpe diem. It's Latin. Seize the day. Dead Poet Society. That's where I learned that.
I love it. I love it. Well, I got up and washed my bed and it's already made. How's that?
Dang, girl.
Wow.
Where'd they go?
I don't know how you did
You're
that
awesome.
without the lights on.
Well, I didn't do it in the dark.
No. Yes, that is also the wisdom of if you're trying to get first light outside, do not walk around or stumble around in the dark. Safety first. All right.
Yeah, right. And do get dressed so that you can go where you want.
Right.
Do we have a challenge or something?
Yes. So we have an action step for today. Do you want to list it? Or do you want to read it?
Make a list of 5 habits that could lift you to higher levels of success and fulfillment. Now select the single habit that would have the most impact and make a commitment to make it part of your life. Remember, it takes an average of 3 to 4 weeks to form a new habit, whether it is positive or negative.
Right. Really
All
good.
right.
Really good. And the 4 week win is all about building
Yeah.
these habits. Like that's everything that she's teaching during the 4 week win is getting these habits in. And if you go through the 4 week win and you put your habits together and then you find something changes or you get new knowledge or you have a reason to turn your habits around, that's okay. Shift them around, get them written down again, hang them back on your mirror and just adjust as needed. And also different times of year, the seasons change. You may have different things that you want to do or participate in as it gets warmer. So don't be afraid of adjusting, but the habit is that you have that morning time to do whatever pieces of your NARS pupaja that you put into your morning routine. Nourished, active, rested, still, present, prepared, and joyful. All right. Any other thoughts before we wrap it up this morning? All right. Thanks so much for being here. We sure appreciate you.
See you guys.
Have a great day. And if you're catching the replay, comment below. We want to hear what your
Sure.
thoughts are about habit.